to do stuff hard. Hi, and I guess I was asked to do a plank story for you for Maggie, so I'm going to give you guys a little story about a trip to Kilimanjaro. So set up for your plank and get ready, and I'm going to start the timer and begin. So when Maggie and I were going to Kilimanjaro, we knew that we were going to be drinking an excessive amount of water because it's really important when you're in altitude to keep hydrated. So we had decided that we didn't want to get out in the really cold, dark of night, try and find a bathroom or a hole in the ground or some rock to pee behind, and then shuffle our way back into the tent. So we said, we're going to have to figure out a way to pee without having to go through all of that. So we decided to take an old Nalgene. I had a big bright red Nalgene, and I put a big sign on it with a skull and crossbones that said human urine only, not for consumption, and it was really clearly marked the pee jar. And so I had only one rule for the pee jar, and the pee jar rule was do not use the pee jar inside the tent, but instead go out into the outside of the tent where the vestibule is, do your business, close it back up, and then come back into the tent. That was the only rule for the pee jar. So there we are, night one, we're a little over 10,000 feet. We drank copious amounts of water, we'd gone to bed, and it probably wasn't an hour into the night, and Maggie had to pee. So she says, well, we've got the Nalgene, we got the pee jar, I'm gonna go use that. So she decides, and I'm sleeping happily in my little sleeping bag, she decides it's way too cold to go outside. So she takes the Nalgene, and she tries to position it between her legs inside her sleeping bag. She didn't even want to come out of her sleeping bag. So there she is, ready to do her thing, jar between her legs, on her knees, inside her sleeping bag, and she starts releasing, and everything seems to be going pretty good until she realizes this warm trickle running down her legs. That's 90 seconds. Warm trickle running down her legs, and not at all into the pee jar at all. And she has been, for like 10 seconds, just flat out peeing into her sleeping bag. And she thought, oh God, no, I violated the only rule of the pee jar, and Matt's gonna be so mad. And she woke me up and said, I think I peed all over my sleeping bag, and she thought I was gonna be mad, but I wasn't mad at all, because she had contained all the pee to her sleeping bag on night one of our 8-night trip, and she was going to have to deal with it the rest of the time. So that's your plank story from me about Maggie and her trip to Kilimanjaro.